we saw that. You saw it last. Well, a lot of people saw it last week when that. Right. So now it's like, okay, we know Bad Batch is coming January 4th, which is now leading a lot of folks to say, just out of necessity, if they're not going to double up too much, they're going to have to push back Mando season 3, Ahsoka, and Skeleton Crew. Right? Skeleton Crew 2023.
Yeah. For sure. I think.
Yeah. So that's
playing a new game.
If you start looking at
Ahsoka, Mando, Skeleton Crew, and Andor 2 would probably be coming.
Well, so that's my question.
Andor 2 will probably be 2024 most likely though.
Yeah.
So
that batch RPG kicks it off.
But they have it in their mindset is animation and live action shows. It's two different like project layouts. They just aren't the same kind of thing. Just for what it's worth.
Well,
yeah. Well, so yeah, I'm working it out. We had all this lined up for 2022, and it didn't pan out. Right now for 2023, we're lining up. We are lining up. Not necessarily Lucasfilm or Disney Plus is lining up. Bad Batch season 2, Mando 3, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, Visions 2, Acolyte. When's Acolyte coming?
Acolyte. I don't think Acolyte will be. I would doubt Acolyte comes in 2023. Because Acolyte will start filming next year, and then it needs to actually film the visual. It's going to use some volume. It's going to use some some actual like set stuff, and so I doubt it. If it is, it'd be like late 2023.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. The Acolyte will be 2024, and the other one that you mentioned is the Andor season 2. I think Andor season 2 is 2024. I don't think it's 2023. Just because I start to look at everything else and think, wow, where are they going to throw it in? All right, how are they going to? And again, let past performance inform future. Right. So, do I expect all this to be in 2023? No, not so much. I think we know that we're closing out 2022 with Andor, and we're going to get the entire Tales of the Jedi dropped on October 24th.
That's a little bit of stuff. That's just a little.
Yeah, 6 shorts, less than 15 minutes an episode, and really 2 stories. Right?
That's like one pack of Hanes, pretty much. 2 packs.
You get the Ahsoka story, and you get the Dooku story.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. That's Tales of the Jedi season 1. I would presume that we will get, much like we're getting Vision season 2, we will get a Tales of the Jedi season 2, 3, 4, 5, like down the road, and just continue to explore some of these characters. And by the way, I can go ahead and put this on screen while we talk about Tales of the Jedi. There's some good stuff in here.
Oh yeah.
This is interesting that this first part is Ahsoka, and again, I saw Matt Risman and X-Wing talk about this last night as well. You get Padme's burial, right? Her funeral procession here.
She's stuffed with the box of rocks in her tummy right there. Isn't that weird?
If I remember from the movie, the procession is moving left to right. Here it's moving right to left, so it's like peeing the opposite.
Yeah, they probably like drug her corpse through the streets all over so everybody could see. That's what I think. You know, the queen is dead. Bye.
Yeah. Why are they dropping Tales all at once?
I'm riding my horse
with a lot of dead air between.
Because it's not significant enough to be a week by week show. Like it would be super unsatisfying, and then like now here's the next. Like they're like they're like little vignettes, and so like it's just not. I just don't think it has enough breadth to it to keep you like going, what's next, and then tuning in and being satisfied. You'd be like, that's it. I waited a week for that. Okay, cool. So I think that's why they're doing it. That's my guess.
I could see an argument for putting it after the season finale of Andor the following week, because there's still some time between mid-November and January when Bad Batch season 2.
But remember, Andor's, they don't anticipate Andor is going to satisfy my 8-year-old. That's what they keep saying. It's not Star Wars for 8-year-olds.
Downtown,
and you already said
Star Wars for 8-year-olds.
Right. Animated projects and live action, they see as two different entire projects, right? Like they're not tying them together, even though they're all Disney Plus content.
But like Lucasfilm Animation's its own like sub department that has its own targets. You know what I mean? For what it needs to like do, it's supposed to do per year, and budgeted to do
a bit more. Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of folks who are kind of leaning into the behind the scenes trouble. That the delays and lack of new announcements is behind the scenes trouble. I don't know that I buy into trouble. I don't go into the whole Lucasfilm Civil War or arguments, anything like that.
That isn't real whatsoever. I'm just not even gonna entertain like, no. Oh, it might be. It's not. It's just.
But I think it's I think you have an infancy of a platform, Disney Plus. And you know, Bob Jr. came out. Bob the Second. What do you want to call him? Bob? No, not
Bob Paycheck.
Real Bob. Yeah, not Bob Paycheck. Yeah, that's what you. But I think
Bob, don't boo me, Paycheck.
Nikki, we're going to doomcock you, Nikki. If we want to doomcock you, we're going to doomcock you. What are you going to do about it? No,
his words, not mine, Nikki. I think you're a lady, and I would take you out to the Sizzler and let you eat the salad bar before even.
I'm teasing. I wouldn't go after Nikki too much, or I will get beat up.
Beat the shit out of us, to be honest with you.
Oh, I'm quite sure of it.
Yes,
so,
I'm pretty scared of her, actually.
I'm just teasing. Just teasing. No, it's so Bob come out and said, we didn't realize the monster that this was going to become, right? We didn't realize the amount of demand there was for this platform, and they're trying to figure it out. And the platform as a whole, the streaming services as a whole, is still in its infancy. And you see people playing around with release schedules, with content layering. When do we release things and how? That's a platform thing. That's Disney Plus more than it is if Lucasfilm being mismanaged or behind the scenes trouble. Miscommunication, sure. I've been a critic of Lucasfilm's communication. Group for a long time.
They have no communication. That's their big problem. That's why we're able to Vince McMahon the hell out of Kathleen Kennedy if we should choose to, because if she literally says just about nothing at all, then there's nothing to ever refute a narrative or to build one that's actually concrete for the most part. If you don't know anything, but like Nikki just said something that was kind of about Acolyte. The thing about Acolyte is it hasn't even filmed anything yet. So there's not really anything for them to like report. They can't really say anything. They can't really show anything. And you have to remember that there's a celebration coming, and they're not going to go at D23 at this point and then knock the wind out of the sails of their celebration next time. And I don't know if it's true. It's probably not, but there's a rumor that there's going to be a surprise D23 for the actual 100th anniversary of Disney, which I kind of didn't buy because they were doing 100 on everything this year, which kind of seemed like it was sort of like weird. But they were saying that because they had to hold one back. And there was a point when Kevin Feige goes, I can't show you this because there's another D23 before now and then, and there's not. So,
Okay. All right. No, that makes as much sense as anything else. Just Disney's or Lucasfilm's marketing arm needs some major overhauling.
And it's always been weird, dude. Like when they were doing the sequel trilogy, it was going to the Marvel people. Everybody's like Lucasfilm's people. Lucasfilm would like take their stuff and put it together, and it would go to the Marvel people, who were then like, "This isn't Marvel. We can't do things the same way." And then they would try to do things the same way as Marvel, and it didn't compute and it didn't work. And even the stuff with Solo coming out when it did was largely actually the Marvel people. And I knew some of the people who were at Disney at that time. They're not there anymore, and they were the ones who were like, "Yeah, we're trying it. We don't know what to expect." Yeah, and they were the ones who came up with Solo or came up with a Star Wars story. That was them too. That was the Marvel marketing people, not Lucas.
It's crazy. It's crazy. There are times where you see somebody do something, you think, "Wow, I think I could do that." To me, that's the sign that it's either two things. One, they're doing it so well that it looks effortless.
Yeah.
The other is that they're so incompetent that literally anybody could do better. Right? Yeah. And so is Lucasfilm's marketing doing it so masterfully that it looks easy? Who's going to make that argument? Who's going to defend that?
No, but they're not. Yeah,
they're not. They're definitely not, which makes the other side of that argument like, well, then literally you could take any marketing person straight out of college with no experience, the ink hasn't dried on the diploma, and they could do a better job. I'm almost certain of it. And look, I've heard a lot of the explanations that it's inner politics of different departments, clamping down. You have to have meetings with people before you have meetings with other people, and it's just it's an entire red tape nightmare.
But let me ask you this:
the reasons.
Let's like kind of like let's self-reflect at our navel gazing for a second, though. If I did go into an alternate dimension right now and say I went to the D23 from an alternate dimension, and there was another Star Wars show with a trailer there, and there was another Star Wars movie with a trailer there, would that change anybody's opinion? I think it would. And because it makes it sound like there's not doing anything at Lucasfilm. But there was a Willow trailer, which is a whole nother series with a trailer there, and a whole segment, and an Indiana Jones movie with a whole trailer there and a whole segment. So Star Wars fans only care about Star Wars and don't. Lucasfilm has two other huge things, and Lucasfilm's biggest thing this year isn't Star Wars, and they're taking that out of the equation and then being like, "What are you doing?" And it's like, well,
really good.
They're doing an Indiana Jones movie and they're doing a Willow series, which are two big things actually.
Yeah,
and
just as we said,
guy, so I'm excited. Yeah. I see why they're not, but they need to take that into account.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. Just as you said earlier, D23 is not Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
It's not even Star Wars and Marvel. It's Disney. Like you've got the entire company there, right? So much, much different than this is Star Wars and Marvel parading out their best content. That's not what this is.
Right.
This is D23. And as you say, Lucasfilm is, and I've said this before as well, Lucasfilm is not just Star Wars. It's a much bigger company than just Star Wars. Sure, Star Wars is it's the elephant in the room, right? It definitely takes up most space. But if you're going to go out on a D23 or Lucasfilm has other things, they don't want Star Wars to suck up all the oxygen from the room. So I get it. You hold off on some stuff so that the other projects have time to breathe, right? They've got some oxygen and they can share that. It's the same that we had with She-Hulk getting a little room to breathe before you drop Andor on top of it, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me. Makes sense. I get it.
And the other thing to actually too, like, I mean, because I am all about being critical of them. Like, I think it's positive to be critical, but there is some smarts in the actual layout of the television shows that we have right now, because we have Andor coming that, let's be honest, it's pretty much for 40-year-old Star Wars fans who watch television high drama, and it hopefully it permeates into the rest of the fandom and they enjoy it for what it is. But you have very adult Star Wars coming, and then in the same 6 months or to year, you have the Amblin Star Wars coming as well. And then in between that, you got Mandalorian, which is just like the I like dude movies kind of like audience. Like, so they're going after 3 specific audiences in quality ways, though. Yeah. And Andor is like golden age of television stuff. Mando is just like I said, it's the action person Star Wars stuff. Yeah. Amblin's like kids, but doesn't talk down to them. And that everyone could enjoy. And like right now, that's a really, and then whatever Acolyte becomes whenever we get that. But that's like completely different, a whole spectrum of television shows. Like, I'm not really crazy about Boba and Mando coming. That's like, when that happens, that's sort of like you're doing the same thing in a row. I can't even tell what shows which. Why is it even 2 shows at this point? It's kind of like, whatever. But but once we break out of that, it's pretty strong. That's actually not something to scoff at.
Well, that's what I said before. Like, if we back away from being a YouTube content creator and actually just as a fan look at Star Wars content coming, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But being critical is, I think it's healthy, and it's one thing. I was a teacher for a while before I became a programmer, and I was a trainer, a corporate trainer, and I always asked for criticism. I wanted to know, what could I do better? And if all they're doing is singing your praises, right, then you won't get better. You can't refine the parts of your presentation or parts of your job that you need to improve. Yeah, so I think that's a critical part of it. And when we start to talk about like hyper ends of the spectrum, right? So you get the fans that won't accept any criticism, and if you criticize it at all, you're not a fan. And you get the other side who say, if you like anything, then you're a shill and you're not a fan. Like that's happening in this space
all the time.
The rest of us as a whole, like, just step back a second, right? Look at it at an arm's length away, and look, this is some amazing stuff coming out. So there should be that too, right? Acknowledgement that this is amazing. And I think Lucasfilm marketing could be better, right? There's nothing wrong with saying that, right?
No, it's true.
Yeah. And Nikki says they could have at least given us something to show that, right, we have unconfirmed movies, casting, etc. I've mentioned before, like a project dashboard where you have, here are all the things, like those 11 that Kathleen Kennedy have on the wall behind her, or other things that we know now are in the works that weren't announced then. And just a simple dashboard that gives us some sort of status. Is it a 23, TBD, TBA, 2024? Is it TBD, we don't know when? Is this canceled? Is it greenlit? Is it in production? Are they in casting? Like, what's going on? And I think they largely think that's none of our business.
Yeah, they will never confirm when something is like truly canceled like that. They just don't. They just step away and like forget about it. Just in case it comes back or something. But also because you just don't admit failure. You just can't, like, politically. But Star Wars Insider does the closest thing to it right now, where they have like an in production thing with like all of the stuff that's like happening.
I've seen that.
I sent that to you when I got the little preview of it that one day, and I was like, "Look, they're almost doing your idea, almost,
almost."
But we should read between the lines though, because when you have been going around saying Taika's movies 2024 or 2023, then 2020, whatever, then you don't even acknowledge it at what's supposed to be the last D23 before. That was, I mean, I don't think it's like canceled, but I don't think that's as going as far along as they were trying to push and hoping for early on. And I think that was that was our confirmation that Rogue Squadrons It's dead.
Boy, I hate to think that. I hate to think it.
I think
Jumping Jamie's brown nosing with you, Jason.
Jumping Jamie. Jamie.
I know.
That's the theme song. I just wrote it. Jumping Jamie. Jumping Jamie.
Let's go back here. I left this up because I wanted to get back to Tales of the Jedi. We've been on a tangent. Yeah. There's been a lot of speculation about is this lore breaking in any way, and is it causing problems? This is one of the discussion points I heard last night on X-Wing and Matt Risman's discussion. Why
is Gantica so foxy? Why does Gantica?
Why does she say Ahsoka is Jedi? How does she know? She's not a Jedi. She hasn't gone to the Jedi Academy. She's not even a Padawan.
What is she, an idiot? But Gantica,
right?
She's like 100 years old. She knows what a Jedi is.
What are you born and you're made a Jedi? Come on, who knighted her? Who made her a Jedi Knight? How did that happen? Right. I'm doing to Matt now what I did to Nikki earlier. So anyway, I'm just giving him a hard time. Matt's not here to defend himself.
In Clone Wars, they will often refer to Padawan as a Jedi. You know what I mean?
I think it's a generic term for Force user.
Yeah. Internally,
Force sensitive.
Internally, you wouldn't do that. Like if you were in the Jedi religion, you wouldn't do it. Outside, it's like,
right.
I see a guy with a little white thing and a black collar. I'm like, that's a priest. He might be a whatever, but I'm like, that's a priest to me. I don't care.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. They're Force sensitive. That's a Jedi.
Yeah.
It's just it's a commoner's term for somebody who has Force sensitivity. They've acknowledged that Ahsoka has some connection to the Force, and so it's the general term. Not a title, right? So you can't do that. And we've talked before how not all light side users are even Jedi, part of the Jedi Order.
Well, I mean, that's Ahsoka's fate, right?
Right.
I mean, that's that's literally where she goes, what she becomes.
Exactly. So what is she? She's not a Jedi. She's not part of the Jedi Order.
Gantica's granddaughter.
It's a confusion of terms. And so if you're only looking at it in the narrow context of somebody who's a member of the Jedi Order has been knighted a Jedi Knight, then the use of the term is wrong, right? Quentin, stop it, man. Stop it. You're absolutely amazing. The care package I got was it was wonderful, and it came with this little surprise puzzle, and it is you don't know what it says, and so you have to put it together to see what it says. And it's still sitting on the table.
Is it a bad word?
Oh, okay. It's great. Thank you for the super chat, Quentin.
It says a bush hog. You're like.
That needs to be a new T-shirt. We should tell Mark. We need
Mark, what are you doing, Mark? Come on.
We need new Santa merch.
Angel.
Oh my goodness, so funny. Matt's cracking me up in the chat. You guys are great. So I think this is just a general term, so I don't think this is lore breaking anyway. She's not like declaring that this little baby is somehow and then there's this next part coming up here that seems to tie into.
Wait, go back, or you don't have to go back. But the Bad Batch logo. I need the Bad Batch logo as saying Bush Hog. That's what that right there. That's what we need Baymax to like do, because that's a shirt right there.
That's a shirt right there.
Yeah.
There you go. We could put it in the top where it says Star Wars. You put SW Santa, and then in the middle you put Bush Hog.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get that for Meg for Christmas.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness. So yeah, there you see Ahsoka ship coming in. This is there. She's training with Anakin. at some point during the Clone Wars.
But by the way, this confirms Ahsoka's scoops on it in Naruto. The what were they called? Fulcrum leaks for like a day. And they that confirms their like scoop that are we allowed to talk about spoilers or no spoilers?
Let's not get too spoilery, right? Just
let's just say that scene with Anakin training, they put the info out on that, and it's significant, and it was something that was like you wouldn't just know to make up. So once again, confirms their scoops on that on Tales of the Jedi.
Perfect.
All of the leaks were likely very accurate in the end.
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And there's a scene coming up here that I want to. So we see Dooku kind of losing his sense of humor, and he calls this guy my Padawan. Is this Qui-Gon? Who is this?
Yeah, that's Qui-Gon looking like he's about to play guitar in The Police, which is rad, doesn't it? I mean, it looks like very like 80s Qui-Gon, which I dig it. It looks great. And look at Mace. You can't even tell. He looks the same age. Mace hasn't changed a day.
So we get some of this. I'm trying to get to the scene. So here she's
doing that training that we were talking about.
Yeah, over and over, stun gun.
Well, you know what? Okay, you know what? Though we do see that in season 7 of the Clone Wars, so we do know what that moment is working towards.
Oh, right, and
so it's not really a spoiler. I mean, it's there.
Well, they cover little. They're shorts. Again, got to remember, right? We've got 2 stories: Ahsoka's in 3 shorts, and Dooku's in 3 shorts. Right, there could be some overlap. It looks like, but so you'll get big jumps, and so we see Ahsoka as a little youngling on to Groot or whatever, and then you see her training with Anakin, and then there's another scene coming up here that I want to talk about. I think it comes from the
old ones called like Oldens. What are the old people called? Sorry.
Dooku and where is it? Come on.
I love Dooku's just for men beard.
Yeah.
Wait, is he beardless in that one? Was Dooku beardless in that last shot?
Well, it's sort of the question. Like
we got beards and beardless.
I'm tired of fighting. Who's she talking to? Who is this?
Oh well, that says. I thought that might be like a even younger Dooku, but the Ahsoka Tano line could be a red herring, but it's probably not Dooku, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily it is. There's a scene. Oh, here you go. You get this dude here that is popular from the Clone Wars, and he showed up in the Kenobi show.
Yeah. We call him Amber the stripper. After that, his name is Amber.
Oh, this guy. Okay, so here's the scene. So we see this guy here on one of the. Well, we'll see it come up here in a second. It's called an Inquisitor.
His name is Chauncey. Chauncey the Inquisitor.
He's called an Inquisitor. Where does this mask come from? You can see the Inquisitor blade with the round. Like this is an Inquisitor blade, but who is this dude, right? And I think Meg has a really good
the E.K. Johnston
about who that is.
The E.K. Johnston stuff too.
Yes, this is what I'm talking about. So in the Ahsoka novel, there is a scene very reminiscent of what you see pictured here. And an Inquisitor, the 6th brother, is on this moon. It's a like a farming moon where it's rural. They're growing crops. The Empire comes in and they kind of take over, and they're oh shoot, they kind of just they're abusing the soil, right? They're bringing all this out, and this is where she gets her crystals from this guy, right? He's got 2 crystals in here. She and the term X-Wing uses, she hand grenades him. essentially she grabs this middle section here, does something to it, and it causes the kyber crystals within the mechanism to overheat. And boom, it blows up, kills him. Right? So it very well could be from the E.K. Johnston novel where she takes on the sixth brother.
I don't think it is
mask
for two reasons.
The
E.K.
the
Johnston
mask looks strange.
Well, and E.K. Johnston's like you guys are kind of being like really nice to say that that's what that is, but it says a lot of stuff doesn't add up. And then the leak, I guess it's okay to say what the leaks say doesn't happen, right? Since it doesn't happen, that's not really spoiling something that doesn't happen. They said that you don't see Ahsoka get the lightsabers in it. So that is another thing that doesn't line up with it being from the novel. I think it's a big thing that means it's not from the novel, because that would be really kind of sexy to put in there, to have her get those. And at the end, she has like the white blades. You're like, oh, that's how she got it. I saw it on screen. But they don't do that.
No, but they could stop short of that.
Sure.
Where she defeats the guys, and then she's got the crystals. And that's the end of the scene, right? Like, she doesn't get the sabers, but she has the crystals. That could absolutely happen. But I think this very well could be, and I think Matt Risman said this. I was picking on him earlier, but I think he said it could be a dream sequence, like seeing into the future, getting a vision of what's going to happen, and this Inquisitor. It says let's let it play, because in the subtitles it says Inquisitor. We'll go back here because there's some other content to pick out. But there is a scene that talks about, there it is, Inquisitor. And who might you be, right? And you see Ahsoka there. And she doesn't have her sabers. So it very well could be a vision of the future. You're going to meet this Inquisitor. That's not what he actually looks like, but it's the vision of that's Inquisitor.
But we know everything from the spoilers, though. And at first, Ahsoka, who was the leaker of information on this one, thought they were retconning the novel. Then changed his tune after he got more data that suggested it was something else, I think. Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure what we're going to see there. But it very well could be an adaptation of the E.K. Johnston novel, or not.
Yeah, I'm betting hard not, personally.
Yeah. Matt Risman, I think it's happening. I just don't know who that Inquisitor is. I agree. I don't know who that is. These are interesting droids, by the way.
Those are we've seen those before, haven't we?
That look that way with the ridge on the helmet.
They kind of remind me of the High Singer droids. I don't know if I am getting it mixed up, though. I wouldn't die on a hill, but they kind of look like the High Singer droid bodies. But here, I'll try and Google it real quickly and see if I could. Yeah, because I think the High Singer droid had more of like an alien head, kind of like a high back.
Let's see. Dooku and now again from the leaks, we kind of know what happens here, because Dooku and Mace Windu are fighting side by side, and it begins a bit of a riff with the two of them. Again, from the leaks, they tell us what happens following this battle, and Dooku kind of loses his sense of humor. You see that it played out in the trailer. Where he yeets a guy right there. He's getting ready to cut his head off, right? But he doesn't. And there he's being calm down, right? Stand down.
See, when I'm looking at this stuff, it makes me wonder if the Ahsoka stuff all stemmed from this trailer. Because remember, at first, that's what they thought he did, and they're like, "No, he doesn't do that."
Oh, there we go. There's another.
Ooh,
right.
That was cool.
There you go. There you see Ahsoka hiding in a crowd. This is presumably at Padme's funeral.
Yeah.
Right.
It is. It is the Padme's funeral for sure.
And then there was another scene here we skipped over, the bit with Yaddle.
Yeah.
We know that part of, oh, there you go. Look at that.
That's cool.
Some really cool stuff. I'm excited for this series. It's 6 shorts. I think it's going to do for a lot of us. It's going to kind of make you hungry for more, which is good, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
it really is. It gets you speculating, gets you excited, and you want more. And that's exactly what, as a content provider, you want your customers to come back for more, right?
Yeah.
It can be a little frustrating because you're not getting satisfied fully.
Sure. But I mean, this feels more like what the Clone Wars was, and what I want, where I want Bad Batch to move into a bit more. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm hoping as the hero of Bad Batch grows up a little bit, I hope maybe we get more into this sort of tone of storytelling. But look, Yaddle looks great though. Doesn't that look cool?
Yep. She does look great. She looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Where did I see it? I saw a comment. Oh, there it fits. It's streaming the day before my birthday. Awesome. It's right before our wedding anniversary. It's the end of the month. So,
nice. Happy birthday and happy anniversary.
So there's a lot of talk about Dave not paying attention to written or comics, and I think that's somewhat true. I just don't want to go too far off the down the rabbit hole. This Yaddle looks great here. I heard some great speculation about how this could be a motivation for. And here you see Yaddle flipping around, very much like we see in Attack of the Clones, Yoda versus Dooku, and it's not going to end well for Yaddle. That's pretty much confirmed.
Yeah,
not going to work. Not going to work.
Not going to work out too well.
No. Look, I'm excited for it. The 6 shorts, it'll be very much like what we got Visions last year. And if they just alternate years between Visions and Tales of the Jedi, that'd be great. So we just have to see. Yeah, I see the stuff going on about Ahsoka, the E.K. Johnston novel. Look, I think that E.K. Johnston said they're not retconning everything. They did consult. It may recontextualize some stuff, but it's not gonna blow a hole in the Ahsoka novel.
Well, I mean, even how many Inquisitors does a Jedi come across throughout their life in that 20 years? I don't know how many years we actually have Inquisitors, but let's just say 12, 13, 14. And so it's like, just because she's meeting an Inquisitor doesn't mean it's the first time she's met one. This might even not even be the second time she met one. I mean, it could be something that she's having to dodge periodically all during this era. Just because she's meeting one doesn't mean it's that time in that book that you read that one time. It doesn't have to be.
Because it happens a year after she goes into hiding. It could be the first one. And then she runs into other Inquisitors down the road. I tend to think that it might be the sixth brother. I understand why it might not be, but the more I think about it, the more it looks like, and the more it fits the story of the sixth brother. And whether that's an actual or it's a vision of, still feels sixth brother-ish to me.
And we could be in a situation where they consulted Dave, which they did. They took his story, wrote it in the book, and he was just like, yeah, whatever. And then goes and retells his story exactly with all of his intent, the way that he saw it, and then just says, yeah, that's a different time.
It could be. And look, again, this is speculating a lot and then coming to, deductions based off of speculation. And sometimes it's best to just slow your roll and let's see how it plays out. Once we see how it plays out, then we can have a much more informed and intelligent discussion about it rather than getting sideways on something that may not be sideways at all. Right?
Yeah. Until we see a trailer or some footage of this Ahsoka show, it's hard to say if it looks cheap or it doesn't and so on.
Right. And like Yadi said, going to keep expectations low for the Ahsoka show. I did like a couple of the stills that I saw out on the internet, and I know there's a trailer, but this one to me is great. I love this still taken from the.
I see, just chill pill. Chill pill. Maggie has tried reaching out to you. He's your wondering. What could that be? Go Rangers. Oh. Alright, go ahead and demons this out. It's almost time for the school days again. How is Maggie trying to reach out? What is your warning? No. Fools. Hello? Hey, you coming to Lick Skillet Days? What? You coming to Lick Skillet Days? You coming to Lick Skillet Days? Yeah, I'll be down there about 5. So. 5 o'clock? Yeah, I'll meet somebody down there in the middle of 5. I've got a place here at 4. Okay. I'll see you down there anyway. Bye. Things get warning from here on. What is it? Maybe. Oh, we'll refresh the page and see what it is. Well, he has the purple guy. Guy and the purple guy has answered a question yet.